The Adirondacks have always attracted creative people, writers, and painters, and artisans who enjoy the inspiration and solitude that millions of acres of wilderness can provide. A few years ago, our Derek Muirden and his co-host of the Mountain Lake PBS series Rustic Living, Aubrey Brissett, introduced us to Larry and Joanne Post, husband and wife rustic crafters whose works have been gaining national interest, and they still are 10 years later. Only now, their business, El Post Rustics of Ausable Forks, has evolved into a family affair.
You know, Tom, when we originally did that show on our award-winning series Rustic Living, Larry and Joanne had 2 kids that were in college that we didn't know about. Well, here we are 10 years later, they're out of college, they're back home working in the family business. And we're going to feature Jillian Post in this segment today. She went away to college to become a botanist and then returned home a wood carver.
This whole wood carving thing for me started out as just kind of a side project. So my original intent was to get into the field of botany. So when I graduated college, I started working for the National Park Service out in Indiana, the Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore. When I was out there and I wasn't staring at plants, I would sit on the beach and I would carve. I'd text these pictures of finished carvings back to my parents. They own El Post Rustics. So my mom got the idea, I'm going to put that carving on a piece of furniture. And she did.
Jillian's work sold and provided a perfect match for the family's rustic look.
When I came back to the Adirondacks, I realized that I wanted to stay here. And I asked my parents, is there a place for me in the business? And they were very encouraging. So I stayed, and the orders have been coming in ever since.
Jillian's years of botanical studies have not gone to waste in her new endeavors. Neither has the experience of growing up in the Adirondacks, which taught her the patience necessary for the keen observation of nature. These skills, mostly self-taught, are present in all her work, one tap at a time.
So for me, wood carving, it checks all the boxes. I get to work with my family, I get to live in the Adirondacks, I get to bring my dog to work with me every day, and I get to work with great customers. Customers who share with me their experiences of nature and with wildlife, and I get to take their memories and my knowledge of botany and whatever other research I do and bring it all together to create a carving for them that I hope is going to wind up being a family heirloom.
But even heirlooms begin with a simple sketch.
So when I'm starting a carving, I start off doing just a basic sketch, and the sketch gets submitted for customer approval. And once this sketch is approved, I move on to making just these little clay models, just so I can wrap my brain around how it is that I'm going to carve it. Once that's done, then I start thinking about how the glue-ups are gonna go. So this would be the muzzle for the bear. And then I get working.
In a small gallery over at the house, some of the work by this talented family is on display. These pieces represent the combined efforts of the entire family. Brother Ryan, Larry, Jillian, and Joanne. But the combined skills of each family member are what makes every piece a true work of art, as well as a tribute to the traditions, both new and evolving, of Adirondack Rustic. If you'd like to see more of Jillian's work, or her brothers, or her parents for that matter, you can visit them on their website, which is lpostrustics.com. Or you can visit the gallery, which is located at their home just a couple of miles east of Ausable Forks, New York, on State Route 9N. For People Near Here on Mountain Lake Journal, I'm Derek Muirden.
People Near Here on Mountain Lake PBS is supported by Valcour Brewing Company.